Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Freshly Pressed. Today we have with us Duke Electric, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Welcome to the show, Duke.
Hey, thank you so much, Rob. It's great to be here.
Amazing. Yeah, lovely having you here as well. So, in your own words, can you give us a brief background about yourself and, how did you fall in love with comics, so to speak?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a multimedia artist from Toronto. I do a lot of different art forms, from music to comics to arts and digital art. I fell in love with comics very young as a kid. Superhero comics, Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman. I kind of got into comics from watching all of the '90s cartoons like Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, and X-Men. And I had cousins that had subscriptions to comics. I didn't have that when I was growing up, but my cousins did, and they used to just like tell me the lore of all these like comics and like how crazy it was in comparison to the show and stuff. Like you'd hear about, oh, Wolverine getting the adamantium ripped out of his like skin, and you're like, what? Like that's crazy by Magneto. What? Spoiler alert. Yeah, on Reddit. But yeah, just like stuff like that when you're like 5 or 6, being like, this is insane. Like, why isn't this on TV? But yeah, so I fell into love with comics with that. I had a lot of problems reading when I was younger, so comics helped with that. Become better at reading because I could read the dialogue and follow the pictures and everything like that. Same with video games. Video games helped me with that too, but comics was a big one. And yeah, I just fell in love with comics. I fell in love with the art form. '90s was the coolest time for comics in my
Yeah.
opinion. Mainly just for like cover art. I loved like everything. Like for example, that uh, Wolverine comic or X-Men comic I was talking about with the adamantium, like having those uh, digital holographic cards that would be like
Wow.
somehow
Yeah.
on the cover, and just the amount of foil and textured covers too were like really epic. I found in the '90s. Obviously, it's stupidly expensive to do that these days, but back in the day, they just kind of went all out, and that might have been why they might have went bankrupt
Yeah.
back then. But
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but
I agree.
it's worth it, right? Worth it. But
Totally, totally. No, I think 90s comics were something else, like dark, gritty, grimy, but so much fun. Like
oh
they were, yeah. Not that today's comics aren't, but it's shifted. Like I feel like a lot of talent that were doing mainstream comics in the 90s are doing independent stuff now,
yeah,
and I think that's really fun. That's really good because we're getting more variety of stories, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that just from going to comic book shops forever, and you kind of saw you just kind of get boxed in with like the bigger brands, and you don't get to see anything else. And now that a lot of people are branching indie and doing their own, like Distillery, all these different companies and stuff, they're really pushing the envelope and making things interesting, and even just making magazine-sized comics and stuff like
Oh
it's
yeah.
breaking mold. Although it's annoying because you can't fit them in your like all the stuff that you've invested in, but at the same time, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was like a couple of weeks ago. I was in Melbourne and I went to one of the biggest comic shops there. They had in one of their big overseas one. They had like Somnia
okay,
from Distillery,
nice.
and it is like a it's square and it's a massive comic, and I was like I want to buy this so much, but I don't know if I can fit it in my luggage and fly back. It's
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that issue. I've had that too. Actually, it's a funny story with Greg. I was trying to get these Ashcan editions done for the last year's New York Comic Con because I was just in town randomly, and the stars aligned, and I was in town, and I was trying to get issues to Scott Snyder and stuff because I'll tell more about it later, but I'm in his class, and it was like this race of like getting everything printed in Canada and then shipping 10 comics to New York to the hotel to get into this like breakfast lunch thing that he was hosting, and then and I got it to him, which was great, but it was just like we did these Greg comics, like the foil one that I'll show you, and the first edition one, a little bit bigger. Like I was trying to do magazine size, but
Mm,
I couldn't fit them in my luggage, and because they were too big. Luckily, we scaled them down a bit, so they're not the full like 8.5 by 11 size, but
yeah,
they're still big because I put them in magazine bags and stuff, and there's a lot of
yeah,
other goodies in there and stuff. And I was just like, I can't. I had to ship them. I had to ship them to myself in America, which was fun.
yeah, yeah.
But, yeah,
That's true. That's true. Especially because if you're traveling traveling domestic, I personally I don't carry a lot of luggage, so it's just my backpack and a couple of other small things. So, yeah. Um, cool. Tell us a bit about your comic. Geo issue 0, uh, Massacre.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, Massacre.
yeah.
But
So,
I forgot the name. I'm so sorry about that.
oh no, it's okay. It's Greg. Greg, issue 0, the Delivery Room Massacre.
The
Uh,
Delivery Room Massacre. I'm sorry
yeah,
about
that's
that.
okay. No worries. Yeah. It's a origin story. So I kind of have the first volume written. I'm still working on the next few issues, but I figured it would be good to do an origin story because every hero needs an origin story. And so this is of our character, our hero Greg. And Greg has a condition, which is that he is so good looking that if you see his face, your head explodes. And so this is his birth um, when he's a baby. And so this is a bit of a horror, dark comedy comic. It's not really for children, but it's a fun read. So
It
basically,
is a fun read.
he's born and just all chaos ensues, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Not to mention that the art is very kitschy, and it feels like very nightmarish as well. It's so the style lends to the genre really really well. You know, so
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. Who's the artist on this? I
I
think
did it all. I did
oh
everything
you did
except,
everything.
yeah, I didn't do all of the. Some of them are just I didn't like ink the lettering or anything like that. Some I just used I just bought typeface for that, just because I was in a rush. But the bigger action not typeface, but the bigger action words and stuff, I drew out and inked and stuff.
That's so fantastic. That's lovely. You're
Thank
so talented, by the way. It's
you.
amazing. uh, no, no, I think that's fantastic. I think your style kind of reminds me of another Canadian writer and artist. I don't know if you know Adrian Kolrick. He's
No.
from uh, he's from Alberta, and he's currently he is currently producing books as well. So
Nice.
look him up. His
Oh,
style
cool.
is similar in the sense that like it doesn't fit neatly within the lines and draws like large panels and big splash pages and that kind of thing and uh, yeah, has a bit of I think your work as well has a bit of larger than life kind of feel, which
Nice.
I really
Nice. Yeah.
love. Yeah,
It's definitely the '90s influence of those big splash pages and everything.
cool.
For sure.
So yeah, yeah, I think check out his most recent work, The Sitter. It's really good. Yeah, it's about this like it's about a giant person that comes and sits next to Alberta, essentially,
Nice.
next to Edmonton.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I think you both would share a lot of love for punk rock as well, because he all his books incorporate a lot of punk rock.
Nice.
His original work called Trakovi, the Slav with no remorse, had had Snafu songs playing in some of the panels, because Snafu is also from Edmonton, and
Nice.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So that's really, yeah. Um, but yeah, this page itself is so like, it just blows my mind how beautiful it is. Like, it basically like just sets the scene, so to speak, for the whole comic. Really, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I almost didn't put this one in, which is funny. My wife, who also edited the comic Sally Cinnamon, I drew this. I was just drawing this, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to use this. I don't know if it's a good picture. I don't know. And she kept being like, no, you have to put this one in. And I was like, no, 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 I don't know. And then I did it, and when I printed it, I was like, I still don't know. And then now, after I've had it in there for a while, I'm like, okay, it works, it works. And everyone
Oh,
always
it is
talks about this one.
gorgeous. I'm so glad she talked you into keeping this. It's
Thank
really,
you. Yeah,
yeah. No, that's fantastic. So, tell us a bit about the campaign, and when it's going to launch. Bit about the rewards and all of that.
for sure. Yeah, so we're hoping to launch it September 1st, just so we can get it out and deliver to everyone by Halloween. That's the main goal right now. We're gonna have like three to four different versions. So we have our I'll show you the ash can version. So these are the ones like I got printed. There's out of 100.
Wow.
Like my prints that I did last year, and so they're all signed. They come with a backboard print as well that's signed and numbered. They're all hand numbered, and yeah.
Wow.
And so these ones, like, they have some, like, there's a couple typos and little layout errors and stuff on them, but they're still pretty much the same as the first edition ones that we're selling alongside. So these ones are limited to whatever is kind of left. I have to do a count before we launch the Kickstarter, but I think there's about 25 of these left. So
Wow, that's
these will be on
lovely.
there. And then we have the first editions, which are exactly the same as this, but it'll be signed with Duke Electric instead of my real name initials. And
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and the only difference is this will just say first edition instead of Ashcan edition, and it'll be numbered out of 250.
Right,
And
right,
you'll
right.
get this, and then these will all come with an in-world classified ad. So it has different artists, different like things that people I know, bands, and people I've asked basically to see if they wanted to have their stuff in the comic.
Yeah,
So these are all just local people or people in Canada that put their company in and said, "Hey, yeah, sure." And so you might get some cool music out of it. You might see some cool films. You might get some cool,
yeah,
surveys and stuff. And yeah, so this comes with it. And then you'll also get a download code, which I'll email, but there'll also be one in here that you can scan. And then there's a sticker, a Greg logo sticker here, and a couple other Greg stickers I might throw in as well. And so that's just for the ash can and the first edition print. There's going to be, I'm calling it the Bad Economy edition. So basically, it's half the size of the comic. So it's all the same pages, the same comic. The only difference is it's half the size and it's just not foil. So it's
yeah,
cheaper
yeah, yeah.
and it's more easier, and you can take it around and rough it up or whatever. I'll still sign it. You'll still get a download code out of it. So that will be there. We'll also have, which I was talking to our printer, Studio Comic Press in Kitchener. I'm just going to rep them here because they're really great. They've helped me a lot with this process of printing and getting this Kickstarter rolling. Um, but there'll be 8.5 by 11 foil posters. So I'm just trying. I'm that might, the picture we were just looking at, that might be the foil picture that I might do. So that can be an add-on, or you can just buy it individually on the Kickstarter. And as well with everything, like the ash can or the first edition print, I'll write a personal thank you to you and sign that and do a doodle and different things. So there's a lot of different things that will be that are available, and then there'll be the digital version, and then a digital version where I will just also just mail you stickers too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's lovely.
yeah,
Amazing. No, I love backing Kickstarter campaigns. Obviously, the only struggle I have is I live in Australia, and the shipping from anywhere costs like one arm and two legs here.
yeah.
So,
That's brutal. I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
yeah, yeah, I know. With tariffs now, it's even worse. Uh, Shipping from here is actually worse than shipping to Australia now.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's a bit alarming with these Kickstarters at the moment. When we started doing this Kickstarter, because obviously tariffs are crazy in Canada. Well, they're still figuring that out, so it's kind of like a any day could
Mm,
change anytime, just because of our the president of the United States. So that's been a bit iffy, but also our post office in Canada has been having some problems too. So those are the only two hangups. Otherwise,
mm,
everything's
mm.
like everything I have for the Kickstarter is printed except the Bad Economy edition, which will just they're just going to print them as the orders come in,
Yeah,
and but they'll have them done for in time for Halloween shipping because
right, right.
shipping companies and Donald Trump will pan out and don't have anything. Fingers crossed.
Fingers
Um,
crossed. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, fingers crossed those fingers don't reach the phone in time
yeah.
and tweet
So,
out a new tariff. Uh, yeah. But hopefully, by Halloween this year, we get all your books shipped out. After a successful campaign, we wish you the best for the campaign.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope everyone, gets a copy, even if it's a digital copy. It's definitely a fun story, and I'm almost on the next issue, so I'm hoping to have that in the new year, basically, at some point for another Kickstarter and to talk about.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's lovely. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like your process and like I talk to a lot of writers and artists, but they're either writers or artists. I would love for you, since you're both on the book, I would love for you to break down what's your process like.
For sure.
Like for the story, do you plan the arc in advance, like a few issues? And like having said that, how many issues have you planned for Greg?
So right now I have the first volume done, and the first issue of volume 2 done for writing.
Wow.
I have outlines and some rough drafts of different. Basically, I have up to 6 volumes at the moment. So I have outlines of different volumes, and then everything else leading up, I just have stuff. And obviously, things will change. Things will get edited. Things will maybe take a different turn than where I have it going right now. But yeah, I have it all planned ahead. So I'm trying to like lay groundwork in these earlier issues that will then affect things in the later issues, and it'll tie in together and be worth it if you follow the series all the way through. My process was interesting with this. It was my first time doing a full comic run. I usually have experience working with like animators and storyboards in my like real life job, so that was kind of the process I took. But the only time I did a comic book was for my original like Greg thing, and which was years ago when I created the characters. So um, I kind of had to figure out a way of doing it, and I also, you know, it's weird because I hadn't drawn in a long time. COVID kind of forced me into doing Greg because I play in bands, punk rock bands and stuff. Um, before COVID. I still perform and stuff and do stuff, but I had a once COVID
Wow.
hit, everything kind of died down. So I kind of ran out of options of creative things to do, and Greg was on the back burner for years, and I just kind of was like, well, now's the time. And so I had written versions of it, and I had different things of it, and I kind of knew where it was going, but I really decided to just really like work on it for the writing. And at the same time, Scott Snyder had his class open up, Best Jacket Press. And
Yeah.
it was kind of like this line. I'm really a big fan of Scott's work and everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to join this writing class. This will be awesome. So I ended up joining, and it was great. And then I had a meeting with him, and I pitched him Greg, and it was one of those moments. He's like, "I love this book. This is amazing. Like the story is great. Like you
Yeah.
should do it. Like go do it." And I was like, "Okay, like if Scott thinks it's good," because I wasn't
Yeah.
confident of the story at the time, and things like I don't know, maybe it's just silly, maybe it's whatever. So he was like, "No, like do it. Like this is great." So I did, and so he kind of held me accountable to getting stuff done because I was like, "Well, I don't want to disappoint Scott Snyder, so I'm going to hit my milestone to get this book done." And sometimes he'd throw at things like, "You should really like try this or whatever." And because it was like a writing class too, I was like, "Well, maybe I'll try," even if it didn't work with what I wanted it to be or what like the end result was. I would always try and do a different version and try to write it like I was writing like for Marvel or
Yeah.
DC, where it's like, okay, I have to turn around a new version of this and see how it works or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my experience writing it. And so I ended up writing over, I think, like a year or so. I just wrote the whole volume one, and then the
Yeah.
next issue of volume two, issue one. Um, but I hadn't drawn anything, which was an issue because I can't put out a comic without pictures. So I, um, I started drawing, and the process of drawing was kind of uh, problematic for me just because I hadn't drawn in so long because I was playing music for such a long time, and I kind of stopped drawing in high school because I'm not like a trained artist or any like trained in the sense of like I don't know. I didn't go to art school to learn how to draw or like learn different things on drawing. I just kind of punk rocked it, and
Yeah.
until I made it type of deal. So when I started Greg, I wish I had the picture to show you, but I remember the first picture I drew, and I was like, "This is awful. Like I can't draw this comic. Like this is not going to work. Like this is going to be
Mm.
awful." But I met a person a long time ago who said like drawing is just like any skill. You just have to do it, and if you
Yeah.
just keep doing it, you'll just get better. And so I took the next year after writing volume one to just get my drawing up to speed and up to spec. So what I would do is I would draw it digitally, just so I don't waste paper and everything, or I would draw it or do a sketch in a sketchbook, take a picture of it, put it on a tablet, and then I'd redraw it, and then I would try to get it as good as I could. So it ended up being like concept art in a way, and then I would
Mm.
print it from like a black and white printer, and then I would redraw it and retrace it and try and figure it out, and then ink it, and then rescan it, put it back in my computer, remake
Wow.
it again digitally, and then
Yeah.
put color and everything. So it was the process was a bit backwards. I'm sure I could have done it easier, but because it was just trying to get the quality up to the standard I wanted it to be with my
Yeah. Yeah.
it needed to have those extra
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
trial and error things. So it's going a bit faster now
Wow.
drawing, but but yeah, it took a bit of time.
That's fantastic. Wow. No, everyone has their own process, you know. I once chatted with a creator from he's from Regina, Saskatchewan, and he was telling like most of his work is either digital or print. Like he draws and does all the charcoal stuff on, so he does charcoal on the paper, but for his like comic pages, all the coloring happens digitally. So he'll
Nice.
do this and then scan and then color digitally. But for some of the covers that he did, he hand painted them.
Oh wow.
And from transferring from hand painted cover to like uh, like do digital was a bit of a mission because he kept losing color. He kept losing
Right.
like it looks different. He was not like yeah. It was such a fun challenge for for someone like him. So yeah.
Totally. Well,
Um,
that's the thing too, is when you get into the print aspect, you have to deal with the CMYK versus the RGB color, and
yeah.
that's always the challenge because uh, you might have like the coolest, brightest colors, and everything looks amazing, and then you scan it digitally, and then you're like, "What happened to all my color?"
Yeah.
um,
But
we
his
had this.
solution was pretty fun. Like he kept uh, adding layers to his paint till the time
Oh,
he got the right colors
okay.
digitally. So
Almost
yeah, it was
but worth it, you know. In the end, if you get the color that you want it to be, right? It's definitely worth
yeah,
it.
yeah. Sorry, you were saying I cut you off
Oh,
there.
sorry. No, I was just saying the one issue with Greg was I wanted to have it be hot pink, and that doesn't work in CMYK.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
so this is like the hottest color we could get for pink. And like you can see on here, it's still pretty pink. It's not like magenta, but it's still like it still comes through.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It comes through very well. It's not
um,
hot pink like the suit you're wearing, but it
yeah,
is still
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that was the big issue was when I was drawing everything, I wanted everything to pop, like be very pop arty and very, very old school comic esque. And a lot of the colors though, I was like, these won't work, but I'm just going to do it anyways, and we'll see what happens, and just kind of try and push everything to the limit. Like basically all these are just like, if you're looking at like a Photoshop color RGB thing, it's like literally either on the line of like it's saying it does not work, you cannot do this, or it's like just about there. It's like, okay, we got it. Okay, cool, let's go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. That's fantastic. Wow, that's like, and thank you for sharing the process. And I feel like there's so much, like, at least for me, like as a writer, in my head I have so many ideas, and I write them. I would say like only 50% of them get translated into the page, really. You know,
Yeah,
um, but in a way that's a good thing as well, because that idea stash kind of stays there and maybe forms into something new at a later point of time.
yeah,
So yeah, yeah.
definitely. Well, like this Greg series, like it stayed on my back burner for almost 15, 20 years because I did
Wow.
I started in high school, and then I had a whole other life, and my wife found the comic and stuff a couple of years after high school and was like, you should really do something with this. And I was like, I know, I just there's something. And at the time he didn't have the good looking head exploding thing yet, and it bugged me
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
like, there's something here, I just don't know what it is, and like
yeah,
until
yeah,
I can't like progress
yeah,
because I have all the other things that connect, but this is the one piece that holds it
yeah.
together. And I'll give my wife credit to this too, because when I had the idea for it, it was in 2012. I was in my HTML class in
Mm,
college,
mm.
and it was so boring. And I just started thinking about Greg, and I just kept thinking, being like, how is this going to be like? How can I make this work? Because like I was like, okay, he's like a fighting guy, you know. Is it because he wears this like hood because he's ugly, or he's just like has a disfigurement, or there's something that he's like hiding to like, or like, because I didn't want it to just be like a secret identity or like something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah,
There has to be some reason why he wears this hood. And I then started thinking about like Medusa, and I was like, okay, well maybe he's like Medusa, and like if you see him, something like you turn to stone, or like he's so like hideous or whatever, it just like kills you.
yeah.
And my wife taught me a cool trick when we were making music together. Sometimes even if you have like a good idea, you should just like invert it and try to do like a whole like the inversion of that idea. And so that's what I ended up doing with Greg. Was I was like, well, instead of it being ugly in Medusa, what if he's just so good looking that then it kills you? And then I was like, that's the thing. And
That's
like
brilliant. Yeah.
eureka moment in like this class of just like people just like sleeping at their desks and stuff. HTML, and then you go to this thing, and I was like, yes, I've got it, like, yes. And and so then I had it, and then I started writing. But the issue I had with writing it was I just, sometimes you just sit down and you're like, try to write it, and you're like, that doesn't, I'm not a writer, this isn't good. Like, whatever. I went through a lot of drafts, and then I just put it back on the back burner again because I was like, I can't.
Mm.
And now that I have the idea, I just can't get to where I want it to be. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
and once I started the process, like really focused on it during COVID, I was like, I was writing. I think I was trying to write at least like even if it was 10 minutes. I had like my phone, like just my notes or whatever, and I would just start writing. I'd be like, okay, so I'll just write this part, and then I'd write this part, and even if it wasn't even good, I would just be like, here's like the point form notes, and I'll come back to it again the next day and see if I can add something to it. And then that's what I also did with the art, because like obviously, like I said, if I showed you the picture, I'll send you an email of the picture when I have it. It's really bad, and I was just like, no, I have to level up my game. So I just started drawing for like a half hour every day, or I would just be like, put on a movie, do something, and I'll just draw while watching a movie or listening to a pod. Even if it was like a terrible movie or like something like I wouldn't usually watch, I'd just be like, fine, we're just gonna put on this
Mm.
rom com, and I'm just gonna draw people's heads exploding and stuff and murder and whatever. And yeah, and then it created this, which is great. And like, there's some panels in here, like the hospital one after the title page,
Yeah,
was number 6. Even this too, yeah, like this, I was like, you know, I was like trying to figure out a way to do it, and the
yeah,
next, but it was mainly the next one actually. Sorry, it was this one and the next one where I was like trying to like do this and like having her laying in the bed and the different angles and stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm terrible at drawing faces, which is also why
yeah.
I made Greg wear a hood thing, so I just wanted to draw his face, and which also helped too because I was like, oh, like because the whole idea of Greg is you'll never see his face in the series.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't define what beauty is. So, I want people to put themselves in Greg's shoes, and like basically it's like I'm sure you played Halo for Xbox, but it's kind of like the Halo effect where it's like you never see Halo's like Master Chief's face. You never see like who is, because you are Master Chief. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah,
I'm trying to do is like you are Greg, because
yeah, yeah.
on a side note, if I don't know if you watched the Halo series.
No,
uh,
I haven't. No.
okay, it's awesome, but after the first episode, Master Chief takes off his helmet and just ruin it. For me, it ruins everything. I was just like, I can't
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
it because I'm so invested in me being Master Chief and me playing as the character and seeing
yeah,
him,
yeah,
oh, Master Chief kill, and now it's just some dude, like,
yeah, yeah.
great actor, great, everything, but it just killed
It
the
just kills the vibe. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That was the thing with I don't know if you've read a lot of Just Right or not, but there's two movies. There's one from the '90s with Sylvester Stallone. Obviously, he takes off his helmet because he's at the peak of his career, Stallone, right? Like,
Right.
why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Uh, and now the most recent one, which was quite a while ago, still was with Carl Urban, and he never takes off his helmet during the movie because
Yeah.
that's what Judge Dredd is. They never do in the
Yeah.
comics. So
And that
yeah,
movie is awesome. I watched that movie multiple, like anytime that movie's on or I see it, I just put it on because it's just so cool. Like
it is.
it
Yeah,
it has like that raid like feel, but at the same time, like it's just, it's badass.
it
Like
is.
especially the special effects are just crazy for that time too. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's what. So Alex Garland writes that movie, but I think there was some issue with in that project, and he secretly directed that movie.
oh wow, I didn't
So
know
he
that.
was like, yeah, the director he left midway or something, and then Alex Garland had to both finish and edit the movie.
Oh
So
wow,
it has like it has his stamps all over it. Like
that's awesome.
pre Ex Machina is one of like I think it's one of his greatest works as well.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, he should do a superhero movie.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
a really
That'd
messed up one, but yes, we should do
be,
one.
why not? That'd be cool. I'd be down for it.
Yeah, yeah. We have too many sanitized superhero movies. There is room for some messed up ones in there.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Well, I'm hoping that like all these other movie studios start picking up on the indie comics and stuff and start using those because there's a lot of indie superheroes that have great story. Like obviously, I don't know if you could classify it as indie, but The Boys as a comic series was pretty indie, and that took off.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
um, and there was another one I'm just thinking of. I just totally blanked on it. Um, I don't know. There was another one, but anyways, just The Boys in general, like
There's
that.
so many. I think Umbrella Academy was Image before they got into like
Yeah,
making that into Netflix series. There's plenty more, right?
yeah.
Like, I
Walking
mean,
Dead.
technically, for many years, Archie was considered to be indie, and Riverdale is one of the most super hit Netflix show
Yeah.
ever. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Invincible. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh,
I don't,
Invincible. Yeah, 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 yeah.
even though it
There's
was Image, but
Invincible. There was I know Netflix show didn't do very well. What was it? Jupiter's.
oh yeah,
There was
uh,
something, right? Like it was a
yeah,
superhero thing as
yeah.
well. Yeah,
I recall that. Yeah, it wasn't Jupiter
Jupiter's
Ascending.
Ascent,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
ascending, but yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Ascending. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Cool. But yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of room for there's a funny there's a pretty dumb rom com which is based on a comic book or graphic novel,
Nice.
really. Uh, do you know a movie called Marry Me with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson?
Yeah, I've seen trailers for it. I didn't know it was based off a comic though.
It is based on an indie comic book.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which is funny, bizarre, and it is good to know that not just superhero comic books get movies.
Yeah.
Like there could be more genres out there that could
Oh,
they could get movies, right?
oh, totally.
Uh, there should be a movie for something is killing the children.
Yes.
So that's definitely like movie worthy in my opinion. Yeah.
Totally. I just finished the first volume actually last week. I had it on my shelf for the longest time, and I didn't want to pick it up because I was too busy writing and doing different things. So I was like, I don't want to like take anything like I don't, when like I don't know. I just didn't want to have like other influences like or stories in like creative juices that I had already had flowing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't read it until I'm done doing X, Y, and Z. And I finally got to read it the other day, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. I got to pick up volume two. So.
Yeah, yeah. They made a show out of Paper Girls, but the show didn't last. I don't know if you've seen that show or not, but
I
uh,
saw ads for it and then I heard it like ended and then I was like, oh, that was really fast. I don't know what happened with that one, but it
I know what happened. I think it was post Stranger Things, and everybody wanted it to be more like Stranger Things, but Paper Girls is not. It's something completely different.
yeah,
The show was different, and I think one of the big issues was they didn't have a VFX budget, so the VFX looked pretty bad. And yeah,
it
I
was
think as the story progresses, it becomes more VFX heavy.
right.
So yeah, I don't think they had budget for season two. Yeah, and the advertising was completely targeted at the wrong crowd.
Uh,
So
that's a bummer. That
yeah,
that's always a bummer when shows don't get like I don't know when I guess I don't know if it would be broadcasters or advertisers, but whatever it is, like it just doesn't like the trailers or whatever just don't hit, and then you end up watching it and you're like, this is a whole different. I forget. I saw something recently like that, and I was like, this is actually really good. Like I don't know why this
yeah, 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 yeah,
why they sold it like
yeah,
this. Could have had a whole different thing, but it happens so often.
yeah. That's very true. I think the show was pretty good till like late. The acting is still like pretty good throughout,
Yeah.
and all the live action stuff has been done really well. I think there's the because the VFX is not very good, and it's so recent. It sometimes takes you out.
Mm.
of the show a little bit, but otherwise, like I think it's the core story. They've modified it just enough to suit the medium of the TV, and like it's done really well. It's about like these girls hitting, being in that really like that stage of early teenage, and like discovering who they are and that kind of thing. The show is about more about that, and I think that's good.
Yeah,
Only when the fantastical elements kick in, that's when it gets a little bit, like not great. But yeah, other like it's good like 70% of the way through. So
yeah.
that's not too bad,
I always find
considering
it's
how
hard.
bizarre the comics are. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say it's hard sometimes watching TV shows with like that need like high VFX budgets, and then they either don't have it or they just because it stands out. I know there's like I tried to watch some of those like CW shows like the Flash and stuff, and you try to watch it and like it just takes me out. Like you'll just see like a character that's like totally digital, and you're like, this is like probably like really awesome and high budget for like, and they're everyone's working their ass off to do and make this work, which is awesome. But then it's just kind of like you're like, oh, like like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just like being a snob or if it's just being our age and whatever and watching VFX on TV. Because the thing is too, it's like TV shows like unless it's like a Game of Thrones or like something that getting millions and millions of dollars throwing at it, like you usually don't get much of a budget. So even to have some of these shows, it's like, hey, you know what, we just gotta deal with it and take it on the chin type deal. But at the same time, it sometimes takes you out, and you're like, I don't want to watch this because this looks this looks too rough. You know what I mean? Um,
I know. I know. I I don't know if you've watched Black Lightning a lot, from CW. Have
no, I
you? Yeah, I've watched a lot of CW shows, and Flash is actually not bad. Like
yeah,
most of the way through, and Supergirl is good as well. Uh, Obviously, I love Melissa Bennett. She's probably one of the best Supergirls out there. Uh, but yeah, like Black Lightning itself, the show is acted really well, and like all the themes are really good, and all of that. Like just like the VFX is so bad, just
uh,
takes you out of it at some point. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's hard. And then the thing that's cool about because I haven't watched all of Flash, but I have a few friends that are like really like die hard into it, and I read all the reviews, and I'll usually read like the highlights of these shows and stuff, and like the writing seems to be like really good, and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the lore and the in universe content stuff is usually really good.
It's a really fun show. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Flash is good. I think Green Arrow is good as well. So, and CW has a decent crop of shows. I think the only problem with some of these shows is because the writing is so formulaic. Like you can't binge watch them. Like you can't like it's
yeah,
almost like villain of the week and that kind of thing. And
right.
um, I think Supergirl does get better like as it goes in later seasons
Yeah,
because they introduce some really good characters. Like the way they introduced Martian Manhunter and the other like Jor-El and like other like the other Superman and all of that. It's really it's done well. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. Sorry,
Yeah.
we got sidetracked into
Oh,
this
it's totally fun.
conversation.
Oh,
So,
it's totally fun. I love talking about TV and all this stuff because it's what I my main focus in life. So
but that's a fantastic segue though into our next question.
yeah, yeah.
What are the top pop culture things you like? Top five of them.
Top five pop culture things.
Mm.
I'm a big 2000s garage rock guy, so I'm really big on like Jack White and Third Man Records stuff. So I'm a big fan of that. I would say I'm really big on 90s animation, like superhero cartoons. So, from Batman animated
Ah,
series, Spider-Man, X-Men, like I'll still throw on like that in the background if I'm doing stuff. And
I
like,
love Batman the animated series. So
so
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I rewatched some of the first season of that recently, and just like the animation. My favorite thing about Batman, I guess my favorite Batman is the Batman that like still gets his ass kicked by like regular goons, and then like he'll just like come back in some way, like he'll throw a table at them or like something, and you're like, yeah, all
Yeah.
right, Batman, or like he'll like, I don't know. I always like that Batman because I'm a fan of all Batmans. Let's just be real. But at the same time, I do like the Batman that's still like he's just a guy and he's just like I'm just going out of my way to like do my mission, and then like I'm gonna get my ass kicked, but also I'm still gonna like find a way to like overcome my ass being kicked to like beat up these like guys that are bigger than me or whatever. And I don't know. I always like that. I don't know if you've ever seen the old school black and white ones, like the serials from like the 30s. It's like the World War II ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
those ones like obviously like they have some like shitty racial stuff that's kind of like shitty for that to be
Mm.
in it for that time. But the I always found it so entertaining and like funny that it's just Batman. He just has a car. It's just like a random like normal car at the time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
we're going to the cave, and they go to the Bat Cave, and it's just a desk and a cave. It's just like their whole thing, and I'm just like that seems more realistic to me in
Yeah.
some ways than it would be having like the bat like this supercomputer and stuff. It's just like this crazy
Yeah.
billionaire guy who's like in a cave at a desk like with paperwork, and he's just like, all right, we're gonna go, being a detective, and then they go and like he has some kid with him who's like, all right, Robin, let's go. And then they drive in a car, and then they chase these like mob guys to a roof, and then like they get their ass kicked. Like it's just like these huge guys beating up a child, and Batman's
Yeah.
like they get thrown. I think the one that I always liked was them fighting. There's like a laser gun, and then like they get thrown off of the roof, and you just see them
Yeah.
falling off the roof, and they're like, until next time. And you're like, what is going on? Like, this is like, but yeah,
The
I don't know.
1960s Batman goes in some really wild places.
Oh yeah,
Like, yeah, it's like they don't skimp on the camp
yeah,
at
yeah,
all. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Even like was it Cesar Romero doing the Joker, like
yeah.
just hamming it up completely to the max, like it's yeah.
Oh yeah, and you can still see his like in the. I guess that's the. I don't know if you can see it in the older broadcast, but and definitely in the newer versions, you can definitely see his mustache in the in the makeup, and you're just like, all right, because he wouldn't shave his mustache, so
Yeah.
there's like this weird hidden mustache underneath the Joker makeup. But yeah, they those some of those the Adam West Batman like there's one I forget like they sometimes went a bit dark. Like they had like one where like they almost got like eaten by like some like weird plant thing. And I remember watching it as a kid, and like I watched like a few and I was like, oh, this is really campy, whatever. And then it's like they're gonna die and they're not gonna get out of the situation, and like and you're like,
Yeah.
how do you do it? And then like obviously they wrote in the next episode, it's like, oh, they had like shark repellent for plants or something. You're like, okay, well, I guess if Batman thought of that, and then all right, like I guess he can get out of
Yeah.
any situation. So
Well, that's true. They have the power of plot convenience. So
yeah, yeah. So,
that's fantastic. Also, you mentioned X Men, right? I
yeah.
obviously X Men '97 is so good as well.
Oh,
But
so good.
uh, I recently started watching the original X Men with my daughter.
Oh,
She really likes it. Yeah,
that's so cool. It's just such a cool series, and they kept it so close to the comics, and you can tell it's people that love the comics making this show, and they're like, we're doing it the way it's supposed to be. Like the fact that the animated series still holds like true to like this Phoenix Saga and stuff, where it's like you can't like nothing has come close to touching that or doing it as good
yeah,
as they did in that. And it's wild.
yeah.
It's kind of wild. The voice actors are all Canadian and from Toronto,
Wow.
and my band used to record where they used to record, and then now I work on some shows, and um, they've been in this. They were like they would be in like, the same session. Like we'd have our session after them, or they'd be in before us, or whatever, and yeah, it was just like you're like this is so bizarre. Like my kids, like my childhood is in this like these voices of these people that are just like in the same buildings hanging out, being totally normal. And which is wild. But yeah,
Yeah.
the 97 was great. I'm looking forward to the season 2 of 97. I really want them to bring back Spider-Man the animated series from the 90s. I'm big on that. Like when I saw his cameo appearance in 97, I was like, "Oh my god, this is like you got to do it now. Like this is so good." Um I know they're putting out a comic of that in September, but
Ah.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
the same. Like it's not from the guy that was like the main script guy or like producer of it.
Hmm.
I think they have a writer from it, but it's not like the main guy like that was doing the overall story isn't involved. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to picking that up and seeing it. But
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
So that's two. Let's keep
yeah.
going.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what else was really good, pop culture wise. Um, that was two. So we got Spider. We got 90s animation, uh, garage rock. Um, I think just like stoner comedy movies are always good.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Kevin Smith stuff is really funny, like the 90s Kevin Smith stuff, just like Jay and Silent Bob. I'm just thinking that off the top of my head, but that's that. I was watching clips of that earlier today, and I was like, um, put them outside when they're kids, like babies, and they're doing the like fuck, 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 fuck over the rap. That's like I was like, this is golden.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
oh, Canadian comedy in terms of Trailer Park Boys, um, uh, Kenny versus Benny, just that whole era of weird Canadian comedy shows, just like in the 2000s, just like blowing up and like being just like awesome and still like killing it today. Like Trailer Park Boys are still rocking it today, and you just like I don't
Yeah,
know, it's such a amazing show for like how crazy it is and how low budget it was like done for and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love Trailer Park Boys. And what else is there? So that's
The
three.
final one. Oh
Yeah.
no, did we do three? Oh yes,
Or
three.
oh, I know.
Oh
I
no, we
did.
did four, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So last one. Um, it has to be pop culture. I'm going to say. I'm going to say the ability of having a computer to download things legally or illegally to improve upon art in like our age of living.
Yeah,
Because growing up as a 90s kid, like my family didn't have money to buy CDs and music and certain things, and like sometimes you had to find other ways of watching things that you couldn't get your hands on and stuff, and that adds character and that educates sometimes in the easy way. I think a lot of art should
yeah,
be free, and I think movies and TV should be not free, but like it should be accessible to everybody, and
hmm.
there should be ways around that. But yeah, I think having technology deliver art has been a positive and sometimes negative. Like obviously now with like music with Spotify, it's just awful. But 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 being able to read a comic, like if I can't make it to a store, but I can download, on an app, like I can pick up the new Batman or something, and like
Hmm.
not miss out on things. It is a change in a positive way.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, yeah. No, I think that having digital has enabled me to back so many other like campaigns that we talked about tariffs and shipping costs earlier today, and then like just being able to back them digitally just helps me so much because then I can back them and I can still read the comic, even if I don't have a physical copy, so
And you get to support people and things that you want to support, and you're not just limited to being like region bound to where you
yeah,
are, because that's a bummer. Like
that's
even video games or other things, it's just like it's like, oh, I can't get it, or oh, it's going to be like 3 times the amount that it's supposed to be to like, like in Canada, like I'm sure it's more where you are, but in Canada, like you'll see like ads, like American ads up here all the time, and so you always see like, oh, like a video game's $50, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go to the store, and it's like, oh no, it's like 75, and you're like, great, like it's awesome because of the USD conversion and everything, but
Yeah,
it's it is what it is, but
I know.
it sucks. It sucks,
There's
and it's
also like, oh, sorry, you were saying?
oh, it just sucks when things are region bound or too expensive.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that. There's also like this other thing which like obviously our houses and homes are not as big as they used to be when we were
Yes.
kids, and like the
Yeah.
space is so limited, you can't have it all. I have like at least more recently started just doing trade paperbacks for myself. Like I just do trades, and my daughter's the one who's like really getting into comics now, so she's the one who buys individual issues. But like I just left it for her, but for
Yeah.
myself, like I would just go for trades and like yeah, big volumes,
Yeah.
and not for like yeah,
And they're good to
issues.
have.
So
Like, you could just have them as like your like comic encyclopedia, wall. I trades are great to have, um, especially if you just don't want to like have to find issues and go through all the bins and everything, or be like, oh, I want this issue, but like it's gonna cost me like $200 because it's like a special one or something, or oh, it's a number one, or but,
yeah. Also, she would like the problem with like what she would do is she would go to the comic book shop and she would try to find a bargain. And what ends up happening is she'll find an issue from say 2018 run that she really loves, like issue one, but then she would not find issue two because it's back issues, right? You may or may
right.
not have
Yeah.
it.
And that's the thing when
Then
you start hunting, right? It's like
yeah, so
that's all.
it's always fun. I love that she's like she's discovering all of this on her own at her age. So yeah, it's great. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's great too because especially as like a young girl, like in a comic book shop. Like I remember when it was weird for girls to be in comic book shops. Like you'd like my mom would like be like, I don't want to go into that. Like I don't want to go into this comic book shop. And I'd be like, yeah, well, come on. I'm like, it's cool. It's comics. She's like, I just feel uncomfortable from there. Like I don't want to go
Mm.
in. And it's
Mm.
cool now that more women are in comics, and as well as being comfortable to go buy comics in stores and stuff. And
Oh yeah.
it's been a big like not evolution, but a good change, a good thing to see and change over time.
Definitely. We need more and more women creators, though. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we do
definitely.
have quite a few now, but we still, it's nowhere close to the
Yeah,
parity. So we do want them. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And like
I mean,
there's so many good like Gail Simone's. Like I remember picking up her Batgirl run, and I was like, this is like
oh,
fucking
yeah.
amazing. This is great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and there's just so
Gail
many.
Simone, Stephanie Phillips, so many good, Lion
Yeah,
Kangas, so many good creators. Yeah.
it's just so yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Oh, from your hood, Fellhound. They're from Toronto. Uh, I don't know if you've read a lot of Fell's work. Uh, they did a book called SIR uh, by Boom recently. I must check it out. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Sounds
they
good.
have. I think their older work is from. I think it's now copyright is with them. It used to be with what was that defunct publisher from 2 years ago?
Um,
They used to be the biggest one, and now they're completely gone.
oh, are you talking about like Diamond? Are you talking about
No, not
no?
Diamond. Diamond, the distributor,
Yeah, right, right.
the publisher. I forgot the name, but they're good. Good that I forgot the name because they're not worthy of it anymore. So yeah,
Okay,
but they had a book called Commander Rao. You must check it out. It's really good. Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
I'll
cool.
definitely.
Awesome. We're coming close to time, but before we go, I would love for you to make a pitch, like an elevator pitch for your comic book and campaign, and why
For
should
sure.
people back it? You know,
Yeah,
go
definitely.
for it.
So, Greg, Issue Zero, The Delivery Massacre, is the most anticipated story you have never heard of, and it's about the Greg saga, about a man who is so good looking that if you see his face, your head will explode in orgasmic violence. Um, it is an epic saga with a lot of action and excitement and horror and just craziness. Every issue we try to do it. Well, I guess I try to do it to get it to 11 so that it's worth your time and energy. Um, our Kickstarter, it's 100% independent, 100% organic, 100% local comic, indie comic at its best. Everything is uh, uh, done ethically. We print ethically. We print locally. Everything is 100% Canadian, at least on our end. So, I'm not going to put this on Amazon. I'm not going to be putting it in like big corporate things. So I hope that you might be interested. You can see a preview of our comic on our website, which is gregofficial.com. You can get a preview up into that shot that uh, uh, Sarao just showed us on screen, and if you have any questions or concerns, you can message me. But we have these comics ready to go. We've been getting really good reviews so far. We got a good review from Longbox Punk, and we got a good review recently from Jason Brown from the Midlife Gamer Geek in the UK. So we're hoping that we can keep rolling with good reviews, and it's been an exciting process to get to this point with this project, and we really hope that you'll back it and participate, or just check it out, or give us a like. Anything helps, and everything's great. And all of these comics, like the foil ones, are all limited. So I'm not going to reprint these again that are the foil ones. Like once you get it, that's it, and then it's just a standard, I guess, bad economy edition, as I'm calling it. But yeah, yeah. So if you're interested, please support. If you have questions, like I said, reach out. We're all about inclusivity here, at Greg and Nerd in the Sky and stuff. And we want to make it worthwhile for people to back and be a part of. So we always try and put as much as we can, whether it's like prints in the comics, or just we try to pack as much as we can into such a small
Yeah.
um, package. I know, a lot of campaigns, they'll be very like, okay, you're going to get the comic and that's it and whatever. Like, I'll sign it. I'll do whatever you want. I'll do it. Like, just let me know. Right. So, um, and if you're ever in a Comic Con or whatever, and I'm there or something, please come say hi. I wear this pink suit right now, because Greg is um, pink at the moment. When I do my next issue, I'm hoping to have a different color cheap suit to wear
Ooh, that's
that matches
fantastic.
the comic. So it will go through the saga and have a suit collection by the end of the saga. That's my goal. So if I do need a job, at least I have suits to go to job interviews for, and you know, keep it real. But
That
yeah.
is so fantastic. Love that. Yeah, I've read the book. It's fantastic. Do back it. It's lovely. If you haven't seen enough evidence today of how amazing and beautiful that book is, then check it out, and you will get that. If anything, get a digital copy, like we talked about, and read it. I would say your head will explode with how awesome it is.
Excellent. Oh, you know what? I
Awesome.
I have one more. I'm going to give you a bonus pop culture thing. I'm
Oh
going to give
yeah,
you. I'm going to
go
give
for it.
you North American introduction to anime through Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. Dragon Ball Z is a big influence on this series. You don't see it
Yeah.
ones, but later there's like a fight scene that previews the next issue, and that all of my fight scenes are like very Dragon Ball Z, like
That's so fantastic. You know, I think this in early 90s after the success of like Pokemon it was we first came, there was a huge influx of like American cartoons produced and animated by Japanese studios.
yeah,
So there was one called Centurions. There was like a whole like I don't know if you ever seen that or not, but there was like
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've seen that one.
there was SWAT Cats. There was a whole bunch of like cartoons animated by Japanese studios on Cartoon Network. Produced by Hanna Barbera, but
Oh,
yeah, animated by Japanese. It's so fun to see like American storytelling with Japanese
yeah,
animation. Like it's just such a weird mix, and it works really well. Yeah,
totally.
90s cartoons was such a amazing time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's great. I hope we get that back at some point. Like, like there's so much good animation. It's just it's one of those things that's like region bound though. Like
Mm,
so many shows that that I've either worked on or that I've been a part of or have wanted to see. Sometimes they're only just like airing in America or some random country, and then it's free everywhere else, but you just can't get it where you are, and you're just like, now I have to go find a way to see this because I'm seeing spoilers from all these review sites and everything, and it's just like it's like we talked about. It sucks, but I'm hoping something happens. I'm hoping like, and this is just like a pie in the sky conspiracy theory for me, is that I'm hoping that with AI that people will like be like so like against it or so just like grossed out by it that they will just be like, you know what, we're just going to go the opposite and just go like totally hand drawn, like old school, and like bring like a new renaissance of just like things back that we just like haven't had to fully haven't had been able to like see in a long time in like that
yeah.
full amount, but we'll see.
Preach,
Yeah.
preach. Yeah, awesome. On that positive note, let's until next time. Have a good one, everyone, and thank you for coming on the show too. I
Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no
Um,
problem. Thanks, everybody.
wish you the best for the campaign, and hope it's really successful, and all of us have copies of Greg in our hands.
Perfect.
So
Well, thank you so
awesome.
much for your time. Thanks, everybody.